Brian Fritz here with Paul Heyman. He is the advocate for Brock Lesnar, who will be taking on the Undertaker at WrestleMania 30 coming up on Sunday. How are you doing, Paul?
That's the first question of the interview. How are you doing?
Well, we have such a great relationship. I know we just talked not too long ago, so I just want to make sure you're doing okay. Everybody can get caught up with WrestleMania week and how busy everybody is.
So if you ask me how I'm doing, I sit there and I go, well, I'm not really doing too well today. I heard my dog was throwing up on the kitchen floor. I mean, would that really affect your day, or? It's more of a rhetorical question, how you doing, isn't it?
But I care about you, Paul. I want to make sure that your mindset is okay. You're doing well. It's a big event, and everybody wants you to, have your A game going forward.
What's the question?
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm great. Thanks for asking. I appreciate the question very much.
See, I always like to make sure everybody's in a good mood first.
I don't want to be in a good mood. I'm not here to be in a good mood. I'm here to do media. Why should I be in a good mood at 6 o'clock in the morning? My God, do you realize what time we're doing this interview? I mean, I don't know what time you're going to be watching it, because you can watch it any time you want. It's 6 in the morning right now. Who's going to be in a good mood at 6 in the morning? Besides him.
You going to be okay the rest of the trip? I mean, I know this is taxing on you to do all this media.
That's right. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Paul Heyman. I'm here with Brian Fritz. This is going to be a groundbreaking interview. We're going to break all sorts of records on the internet, on podcasts, on radio, on YouTube, on digital media. And now for my first provocative question. Brian, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, Paul, especially because you're right here next to me, and I'm excited to have you here for a few minutes talking about WrestleMania 30 when Brock Lesnar takes on the Undertaker and looks to end the streak. 21-0. No one's ever beaten Taker on this stage, and now Brock Lesnar has that opportunity. And I'm excited to see you in the corner of Brock Lesnar.
There you go. So he said it all. So, are we done?
No, I think we got a few more things to you. Compare last year to...
I thought we were done. I really thought I was going to get out of here that quick, and obviously...
It's not that easy.
Not.
It's not that easy. No. There's actually a seatbelt on that chair. Talk about last year, because I was in New York City. That's where you're from, and last year, not only did you get to go out there with Brock Lesnar, but also with CM Punk. So what was that experience like? Well,
it was actually my first WrestleMania as a manager. I commentated on WrestleMania 17 with Jim Ross when I first came aboard WWE, and I had not appeared on a WrestleMania since then. So it was a huge event emotionally for me, because I got to work with my two best friends, CM Punk and Brock Lesnar, in two successive matches, 2 of the 3 main events on the show. And to do it in New Jersey, which is as close to New York as we were going to get, was a thrill, and it's the New York metropolitan area, so I had a blast.
So what's it like this year? Obviously, you're with Brock Lesnar, but CM Punk is not here, right, for whatever reason. Are you surprised that he is not here?
No, I mean, I'm not surprised he's not here at all. He was not happy. And there was going to come a time where that was going to come to a head, and it came to a head 6 or 7 weeks before WrestleMania.
Have you had a conversation with him, or if you did, what would you say to him?
What would I say to him in terms of?
Well, you're a friend. I mean, if he asked for any kind of advice or anything like that.
I don't mean to be a smartass here, though. It's going to come off that way. But what I would or have said to him is exactly what you said to me at the beginning of this interview. Hey, how you doing? I don't think he's seeking out anybody's advice, and nor do I think he should. The old Clint Eastwood expression: "A man's got to do what a man's got to do," and this is what CM Punk felt he had to do, and so he did it.
So now you've been back with WWE for a few years in a different role than what it was in the past, and you work behind the scenes. What's this been like for you? Has it been refreshing to not have that kind of pressure when it comes to all the various things creatively, not just for yourself, but everybody else that you had to work with?
Well, I never minded the pressure of being behind the scenes. I'm very happy right now not being part of that world, because it makes my life so much easier just to have to perform. It allows me far more time to allocate putting concentration into what I want to say on television, and to work with Brock Lesnar. Are you catching this?
Go shut that guy down. What a hack.
How come there's a yes and there's a no and nobody chants maybe?
That's a good question.
Well, no, I mean, wouldn't that be like the next catchy thing to do, just the maybe guy? He'd have to be a Jew, though, right? I mean, what do you think? Maybe, maybe, you know, and then, you know, it would catch on. And people all over the world could chant, maybe. No?
I don't know if that's as catchy.
Can we get that cleared on a t-shirt? Yeah. Copyright, trademark? Okay, get me a royalty. Talking about one of my attorneys. I always bring attorneys with me.
I don't blame you. It's a litigious world.
And thank God for that, because my father was a personal injury attorney from the Bronx, and everything we had in our lives was because it was a litigious world. So I'm very happy that it's a litigious world, and I have no complaints about that.
What was it like for when you got into this industry for your father? What was his impressions on you getting into this business?
You know, I kind of came in an entrepreneurial fashion because I was doing my own fanzine, and I was, you know, taking my own photographs. I wasn't really working for anybody except for myself. And my father never joined a big firm in his life because he was always self-employed. So he kind of got it. You know, he liked the fact that I was going out there and carving my own niche. So I mean, it was. I mean, I think he kind of looked at it like, okay, what are you getting yourself into here? But at the same time, he kind of liked the fact that I was going out there to just do my own thing.
You've always been a hustler from like when you got in this business to where you are now. Right. Where does that drive continue to come from? Because you not only do your things with WWE, but you keep busy with other things, especially social media. You've got a publicity firm, I believe.
Right. It's an advertising, marketing, and branding firm in New York City called the Looking for Larry Agency, and it does keep us very, very busy. Thank God. And yeah, I just never wanted to have a real job. With a passion, I avoided having a real job my entire life.
So what's next for you after WrestleMania? Because you've been back with the company now for a couple of years.
You already said that, though.
Right, but
you pointed that out.
I know I did.
You're kind of driving it home.
No,
I mean, you had the feeling that have I worn out my welcome already?
Absolutely not, Paul.
Well, you've been back for a couple of years, you know. Hey, so now that you've been back a couple of years.
No, I'm excited that you're back.
You've been back a couple of years already. Jesus, go away. You know, I mean,
you're driving home the point.
Well, I mean, I'm just emphasizing what you're saying. I'm trying to help you here. I mean, if you want me to go, just tell me to go.
Never. We're going to spend all day here. Screw everybody else.
Oh, God.
It's just you and me, Paul. It's just you and me. You're in this for the long haul.
And I'm so very happy to be here, too.
What's next, though? I mean, Brock will be here for at least another year. But could you see yourself still working with the company when that day comes that Brock says, I decide to move on?
It all depends on what Brock wants to move on to.
But could you see yourself working with somebody else here in WWE?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, listen, I worked with CM Punk before. I worked with Ryback. I worked with Curtis Axel. I mean, I do take a look at other talent and see what else is going on. Brock Lesnar doesn't perform 52 weeks out of the year. So there are other projects that I like to get myself involved in. But my meal ticket, I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, I've been riding Brock's coattails for 12 years. I didn't just ride his coattails here in WWE. I went with him to UFC, you know, and we did projects there together. We wrote a book together. So, I mean, we have a very strong business relationship. But, you know, if there are other things for me to do here and accomplish here, I'm happy to take a look at that, of course.
When it comes to UFC, Brock Lesnar had the confrontation, or they ran into The Undertaker back in 2010.
Right.
Did you think that this match possibly was going to happen that year? How close did that come to happening?
I really don't know. How close did it come to happening? It didn't happen. So, I mean, the fact that it didn't happen kind of tells you it wasn't meant to be. It's meant to be now. And that's fine because, listen, it allowed The Undertaker to get a couple more wins and notches on his belt so that he could become 21-0. So it's a bigger number for Brock to defeat when he defeats him this Sunday and makes it 21-1.
Last thing. When you watch wrestling now, or even when you look at some of the younger talent, do you look at it the same way that you always have with the creative wheel spinning, or do you look at it in a different way?
No, I'm cursed to kind of looking at it from a creative standpoint. You know, I see someone, and I was that way as a kid. You know, I was such a fan of larger-than-life personalities. And you get to see these larger-than-life personalities just explode through your, whether it's a television screen or a movie screen or an iPhone or a smart, you know, one of the many platforms that you can now see people on. And, you know, you start envisioning what these people can do, how these people can be presented, how these people can be promoted. You know, I'm a promoter at heart, you know, and I just watch people and I say, wow, you know, they just did this with this guy. So I'm kind of cursed with that.
Thanks for the time, Paul. I always appreciate it. Paul Heyman, the advocate for Brock Lesnar, will be taking on The Undertaker.
We're spending all day together.
I'm going to let you off the hook.
I kind of like you now.
Okay.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course you can.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well.
Oh, good. I was more
Even better now that we've had a couple of minutes to share together.
Yeah, I feel bonded with you.
I like that. See, Paul Heyman
Take
getting
your
ready
hands
for
off me
WrestleMania
now. Take your
30
hands
on
off me.
Sunday,
Don't
April
touch me.
6th.
Why are you touching me? I don't like it.